I'm going to do the same thing I did in my morning class, because I told Professor Krause this morning, I've always wanted to do it. Repeat after me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Always wanted to do that. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. With this internship at Visit Greene, I knew my goal was I wanted professional experience in a smaller market. And some may say, Frank, why a smaller market? Because I knew that I wanted to do something that could be impactful for something as local as Greene County. And I knew there was plenty of people going up to Washington to work with the Wild Things, and I thought, let's try something new. Let's try something different. So that's where I started my internship at Visit Greene, the Greene County Tourism Agency. The topics we're going to cover today is what my job title was, the Visit Greene team, which I love the rhyme with that, the work I created, the challenges, and then my reflection and future. So my internship title, when I came in, Joanne, my supervisor and the head of the department, she mentioned that I would be the videographer. I'm like, that sounds sweet. I'm going to be videoing all day, come back, edit some footage. Like, what kind of job are you going to get paid for? Well, this was a paid internship that you can go in, shoot video, and edit it, and bam, that sounds awesome. Found out that's not what was going to happen at all. Because it was just 3 people in an office, not only did I have to do the radio scripts, some of the social media, YouTube captions for ADA compliance. If you don't know, that's for people that are, they can't hear, loss of hearing, and subtitles. So that was like, imagine sitting there for a day and just doing subtitles. I figured out a way to do it. It's, AI does it for you. Travel brochures and delivering, because Trevor didn't want to deliver them, which I get it. And then when Trevor was tired of being a receptionist, I would go in. Funny story about the radio scripts. I'm normally a confident guy. Like, I'll come into any situation pretty confident. I don't like to get scared a lot, because I know that scared, it's just you're just being excited. So I was excited when I heard, I'm going to do the radio scripts, I'm going to read them on the air. Well, I wasn't reading them on the air, we were going to record them. And it was up at WA&B with one of our professors, Doug Wilson. So I'm like, this is going to be sweet. I know him already. So I go up there, I bring the script that I cautiously wrote. I cautiously wrote the script. I put it up there, and I start speaking, and it just came out garbage. I couldn't speak it. We're recording it. I have all these takes. So it wasn't really worrying me. Until about 2 hours in, Doug Wilson comes in and is like, hey, Frank, you got to move along here. And he reads my script, and he goes, this is terrible. I'm thinking, you're the one who taught me the class. I should be pretty good at it. And he was like, who told you, who helped you write this? And I was like, Trevor and Joanne. And he was like, you got to write it in your voice. So quickly I figured out, I had to do it in my voice if I'm going to read it on radio. Now going over to my fellow colleagues, the other intern, which I like to call him, Trevor Miller. I kind of do give, I do jab at him a lot, and I do say a lot of funny things, but having Trevor there was a blessing. Every day, if I was just a minute late, I'd be getting a call. If I would be like, hey, I'm walking up. Or even if it was 10 minutes before, hey, Frank, you up? I'm up. And then if I was maybe 5 minutes late, I'd have 6 calls. But I was getting us coffee. I was doing something for us. And then our tourism director and our supervisor, Joanne Marshall, and like Trevor said, it was a one-man band with her in the office without us. So in theory, she really didn't need us. She was just giving us an opportunity to show her skills. And that's something I really appreciated, because not only did she help us develop our skills, she also gave us new ideas as well. She, to be honest, and Trevor didn't really hit on this, she was way more critical of me. It might have been because I got a face for radio. Trevor, he looks like a movie star. That's not the case at all. But I'm always the type of person, I'm kind of hard-headed. And there was a lot of times we'd go into back and forths about, what we want to do. And then finally, I kind of was just like, let the professional teach me. I'm here for her. Let her teach me. And it went smoothly after that. And then here are some of the work that I created. I thought the best one I did was at the W.A. Young & Sons Foundry Machine Shop. For all you seniors, and I know it's going to sound like, why would I do that? You should go to this. Like, it's one of the cooler experiences. It's all run by a belt. It's a machine shop. It's crazy. But I mean, going up to see alpacas, look how cute that thing is. And then the machine shop, which I thought was pretty nice. And then we also did several Instagram reels that I got to produce, and Trevor helped me with the voiceover work. And then I also got to do this was the first one, and I kind of hit on it a little bit, that me and Joanne had some back and forth. This Memorial Day was kind of like a package for the newscast. And that's not what you can't do. You can't do that in tourism. So that's kind of where we first started to butt heads a little bit. And I realized that because the next one was a promotion of the tractor pulls. So I always thought, like, comparing those two, that's from something I would produce here for WCTV and then something I would produce for an actual tourism agency. And then the challenges. Challenges was living alone and bills. When I'm talking about setting goals, I wanted to get into a professional setting. I wanted to be able to say, this is my first adult-like experience. So I lived alone, and I had to pay bills. I don't like paying bills. And I'll leave it at that. Creative burnout. And I know Trevor hit on this too, but when you're doing things that are like the daily, like editing video, doing YouTube captions, it burns you out. So at the start, I really came in heavy-handed. I wanted to get a lot done. And I realized you can't do that, because you're just going to burn yourself out. So I went on a vacation, had Trevor do my work, and came back, and I was refreshed. A week's vacation, I was refreshed. So that creative burnout, in a way, I just let Trevor do my work just for a week. And then time and resources. There was one moment that at the end of the year, or end of this internship, that I had to produce a full-length documentary on the coal industry. I'm like, you know how much time that's going to take? It's just me. So I managed to kind of replicate it or at least manipulate it into something else. It was actually a 17-minute documentary, mini doc, as I would say, of a couple out in Carmichael's, Bryce and Linda Rush. And it's on my YouTube, so if anybody wants to watch it, I'll unlist it or send you the link. But it was remarkable to see someone in that community that takes so much care of their livelihood. Like, this is what they lived off of, the coal industry. So, that was cool. And then resources. Resources was just having only me being the videographer and then Trevor trying to be the videographer, which he was good at. I will say that. He was good at it. And then finally, my reflection. Now, I will say the Visit Greene Tourism internship was special to me because it got me into that professional experience right away. I felt like I was an entry-level person that I will be in the next however many months. And what I was more appreciative of was who I was working with. Trevor and Joanne, they always had my back. Even when they would both gang up on me because they didn't like my radio scripts, I knew it was out of love and they wanted me to be better. So I knew with this internship, it at least made me better as an individual and as a creative individual, which I really did appreciate. And then finally, my future, with a lot of you seniors out there, my future is not determined yet. Like, it's not. I don't have a set job yet. I had a couple opportunities, turned them down. I'm just trying to still look for it. And to you underclassmen, just find what you're passionate for. If there's something that you're passionate for and you know you want to do for your rest of your life, find that. And then find the person that you want to be on LinkedIn or Twitter, and then do everything they're doing. And then add a little spice to it. And finally, your future is whatever you make of it, so make it a good one. And that is the whole reason why we did Back to the Future, so I can end on that quote. Thank you. Questions? Is that you, Maya?
Yes. Of the list of things that you presented, what was the point that you were least knowledgeable in, and how knowledgeable are you on it now?
I'd say, and it's weird to say this, but creating scripts for promotions, like you're promoting a certain part of a business or something. I mean, it's kind of funny. I didn't really think about it until I did my practicum project, where I was promoting a business, and I really didn't even add it in there. But now that I think about it, I would say that's probably working with a business and trying to make something the best for the client. So yeah, Meg.
So I know you said that like your future's unknown, and you said that yesterday during your senior spotlight, and you said that you just enjoy being a real person. So obviously your future's unknown, but has this helped you at all guide your way down your path as to what side of the field you're leaning towards?
Yeah, I know that. I know I want to work, and it might not even be directly. Like I know, like my main job, I do want to work somewhat in the community aspect. So if that's being a football coach or something, helping out in the community, that's what I want to do. Because in a way, this was a community job. It's for the county of Greene. So you were out in the community, you were talking to people. So if there was something, it would be, an aspect of community there. Sparky.
So you mentioned not wanting to kind of be generic in a sense, and never going to Washington, just doing a lot of things, because that's a more popular internship. So with Visit Greene, is there anything in your experience you'd want to redo, or not regrets, but maybe something you'd like to change, if there is anything?
I wish I had more time, and I maybe kicked myself in the butt a little bit to do that documentary, because there's a lot of history there. Like even in this region, I mean, at a time, Greene County was the #1 coal producer in the United States and probably even the world. So, I mean, my little mini doc, that's only just for the rushes because they are getting up in there in age, so they might not have anything for their grandchildren or sons and daughters. But yeah, that's probably my biggest regret, is not being able to do a lot more with that. Gavin?
What were your difference in thought processes comparing the short form content and promotions with that documentary?
Well, I mean, you look at TikTok and you got to grasp somebody in the first 5 seconds. So the alpaca video, that was a snippet of it, but the first thing is the baby alpaca. Come on. If you're going to look at alpacas, you want to see the baby. You're not going to look at the old alpaca first. Oh, look at that old thing. No, you want to see cute new babies. So it's Jayhawk?
Can we actually go back and see, I want to see the WCTV package you said you did versus your new one.
It's not the full thing.
That's fine.
But this was I even have an interview in here.
How long is it?
3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh, God. Okay.
I mean, if you wanted it for a WCTV, but this one was just straight up. Let's see, here's the good footage. I'll tell you what, another thing, if you're around here in the summer, don't be like me and be the tough guy and go, I don't need earplugs. I couldn't hear for the next week. Craziest stuff too, polling things. And there's me with my khaki shorts on and my polo. I'm like, you know what I mean? With a camera stuck to, you look like the first question, what do you think the first question was anybody ever asked me? You from around here? Oh, no, I'm from Pittsburgh. Oh, of course. Look at you. That was the first thing. But, I feel That's why I wore the country hat. I feel a little bit more country now. Well, thank you all for coming. We all appreciate it. That concludes our internships for the spring semester, and we'll follow them up in the fall for all you guys that are doing your internships.